All right. So the Rangers win 4-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks in game 37 of the regular season. And pretty solid effort. I mean, the Rangers did pretty much what they had to do in this game. They took care of business against a team that's just simply not good at all. Would you have liked to have seen them dominate more at times? Yeah. I mean, personally, I would have, especially because it felt like this game was going to collapse at one point. Like once Chicago scored that goal and then they took a penalty, you felt like the game might collapse right there. But the Rangers end up playing a very strong third period, coming out of the gate at least very strong. They definitely got a little sloppy towards the end, but you could excuse that because of the fact that they were up 4-1 at that point. Chicago realistically had no chance in this game. If we're being honest, they had no chance. They're that bad. Chicago is that bad. Like it took me visually watching them in person to realize how bad they truly are as a team. And, it's no disrespect to them. They'll be good at some point. They're going through a rebuild. It is what it is. But oh boy, are they a are they a dumpster fire? Constant odd man rushes against them, sloppy with the puck in their own end, especially. And, that was kind of a thing that made this game really even close at one point, is both teams were kind of careless in their own end with the puck. The Rangers, too, they had a lot of careless mistakes in their own end at points, which is really the only reason Chicago even had scoring chances in this game. But that's kind of the thing that the Rangers have been doing for most of the season, unfortunately. And, I hate that it continues, especially against a team like the Chicago Blackhawks, but a lot of concern there. Like you're playing a bad team and you're still having issues breaking the puck out. That's annoying. But at least there's more positives to take away because you didn't see as much of them going the east-west plays and trying to be way too cute with getting the puck in. There was a lot more of establishing a forecheck, especially early in. I felt like their forecheck was way more established than it's been in previous games where, again, previous games, there was way too much of the east-west play, and that wasn't as noticeable. I don't know if it's because Chicago gave them so many odd man rushes and because they had so many issues in their own end, or if that's because the Rangers were just dumping it in. But from my eyes, it at least looked like they were attempting the forecheck more and relying more on dumping the puck in, which is a very good sign because that's a way more sustainable way to have your offense going and a way more sustainable way to win hockey games. If you're getting in on the forecheck, wearing the other team down, and making it a lot more difficult for them to win the hockey. It makes it difficult for them to win the hockey game that way. But again, really just my only gripe in this game was the careless mistakes in their own end at points because of the way that they were playing the puck. Jacob Trouba in the third period at one point, two terrible breakout attempts. Adam Fox being lazy at points yet again. And with Adam Fox, I do want to say something since the whole conversation circulating around Twitter. And, I've mentioned it here in the live streams and everything. It's not me saying Adam Fox sucks. Adam Fox isn't going to be good again. He's terrible. He's done. He's a bum. He doesn't lose what he is overnight. He's a superstar defenseman. He didn't lose that overnight. But you are allowed to be critical when he has bad games, and clearly the injury's been nagging him, and clearly something is going on there because it looks like his foot speed's behind. His shot looks very off as well, which honestly, I know people are going to be against it, but for now, if he's truly not that healthy right now, then let him be on power play 2 and shelter his minutes a bit. Not overly too much where it's like you're at that point, you might as well just scratch him or something, but shelter his minutes a bit if he's truly playing not at 100% and let him slowly get back into things because we need him to be healthy and ready to go come playoff time when it's more important. And I believe he'll be fine soon and he'll be back to the superstar that we know and love very soon. But it's definitely been a little bit of a rough stretch for Adam Fox, probably the roughest stretch of his career. And, for as much as we're saying this, he did have a good game. I forgot which game it was that he played where he had a pretty solid game, but he had a good game somewhat recently. We're talking about this being the roughest stretch. It's not even like he's been a dumpster fire in a lot of the games. I mean, tonight he was a dumpster fire, but he had a good game throughout the stretch, but still, he's going through a stretch right now, and we just have to wait and see what it ends up being. But yeah, as of for right now, he just has not been playing the best, unfortunately. But again, I still believe he could be back to what he is, because those penalties they took too, just careless, lazy penalties, and a lot of it had to do because he made a mistake previously, and that's not an injury thing. That's you just being careless and taking just stupid penalties. Sorry, that's just what it is. But yeah, we'll talk more about the game. I don't want to, completely talk just about Adam Fox because there's a lot more to talk about with this game because there is somebody that I do want to absolutely pump their tires tonight. And I think you know by the title who I'm going to be gassing up tonight. But before we jump further into the recap, don't forget to leave a like if you have not already on the post-game show here. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 2K subscribers. I appreciate everyone that donates, is a member, send super chats, all that stuff, and turn on your notifications if you have not already so you know when I upload or go live. But in the first period, the opening first 6 to 7 minutes were pretty strong from the Rangers. They had some nice neutral zone play. Miller had one that I remember on Bedard, and they were just doing a lot of good things right, honestly, early on, except shooting the puck. Like, they were getting the sustained offense, weren't shooting the puck. Their best chance really was, Brandon Hoffman having like a weird angle from the side of the net, trying to bank it off Peter Mrazek and in. But that was pretty much it. They had the sustained pressure, just didn't generate the chances. And at least they were playing good defensively too. Gaudreau even too had like one noticeable good play defensively. Was he good the rest of the game? He was okay. I mean, he was okay, but there was one play that really made me want to pull my hair out from him, but we'll talk about that. Then the game just kind of picked up after those first 6 to 7 minutes. Like, the game was kind of just dead at that point, but it started to pick up. Lafreniere with a nice feed to Panarin, who gives it to Schneider, denied. Trocheck then denied it on the rebound. Then Schneider gives it to Panarin for a chance, and he fans on that opportunity. Panarin had a couple of chances to really add more goals tonight, but he either fanned on it or it got hit in the face with it, which we'll talk about that too. And then an extended shift against the Hoffman line following a 1T chance from him. Hoffman, he had a very good debut. Didn't like this play, though. I didn't like this where Connor Murphy was left just wide open. Then there was a turnover, too. I think Nick Bonino had that turnover. And then Reese Johnson had a chance in front of the net. Igor had the glove. Big save there. And then there was like a block, too, by Bonino, though, early in the shift. It was a weird shift for that line, but that was Chicago's like really that was their best shift of that period thus far and like the game thus far. But Kurashev with a shot in the slot that got stopped. Fox, I felt like, needed to get a stick on it, but the Rangers would make it 1-0 as Trocheck just bodies Connor Bedard. Couldn't stay on his feet, and then Trocheck gets a rush chance, gives it to Lafreniere, who gives it over to Artemi Panarin. Wonder what organization would trade Artemi Panarin for Brandon Saad and Tyler Mott with them. Like, you trade the best player in hockey and Artemi Panarin to get Brandon Saad. Interesting organization there in Chicago, but that made it 1-0. Lafreniere, though, I'm going to be gassing him up a lot during this post game. In my opinion, this was his best career game. And I know people might be like the Columbus game, or they might point to some other games. No. This game, visibly, with and without the puck, he was so good in this game. Like, he was back checking at points this game too. This was his best game. It was. He got robbed of getting so many more points. I tweeted about it too. His passing, insane. He was looking like a number 1 overall pick with the way that he was just moving around the ice too with the puck. Like, I was very impressed with Lafreniere's game. If you told me going into this, the better number 1 overall pick in this game was going to be from Alexis Lafreniere, the play tonight, I would have been like, sign me up, because we know how good Connor Bedard is. Lafreniere was, no offense to Connor Bedard, he's still a very good player, but Lafreniere was light years ahead of Connor Bedard in this game. I want to emphasize in this game. I'm not saying Lafreniere is a better hockey player. I am just saying in this game, Alexis Lafreniere had a way better performance and was way more noticeable, at least in my opinion. Not to say Bedard wasn't noticeable, but Lafreniere was definitely the more noticeable player between the two if we're going to pick that there. But Miller had a nice stick play, then got a chance off of that, got denied as he just shot it kind of in the Mrazek's chest. Panarin feeds it to Trocheck for a chance alone. The backhander gets denied. Gustafsson then blows his coverage on Kurashev, but thankfully Trocheck would get on the back check to stop that. Bedard breaks past the defense, tries to bury a chance there. Igor dives to get it, and then all of a sudden Eric Gustafsson does the Patrick Nemeth and throws Connor Bedard on top of him. That was interesting. But Lafreniere then with a beautiful shift. Won't be the last time we say that. As he tries to set up Panarin, couldn't score, but then Lafreniere had a chance in front. That got denied. Miller gets his pocket picked by Connor Bedard, so Connor Bedard still had a very good game. Fed Donato on that chance, denied. And then Igor turned over the puck to Gustafsson, who got a shot, but ended up getting denied. But the Rangers, they pretty much controlled most of the play in the offensive zone that period. When it was in their defensive zone, they definitely had some issues, as you could tell by, me breaking it down play by play, that they definitely had a couple of lapses, and most of it happened after they scored the goal, which, it's a little annoying that that's kind of been the theme this year where, the Rangers will score a goal and then they're playing on their heels a little bit. That's something that, you'd like to see improve, but yeah, they definitely allowed a little bit too much at points. But a lot of it was, again, because of the fact that they were sloppy in their own end with trying to break the puck out at points. And even then, too, a couple of turnovers, too, in the neutral zone. I didn't really like Keandre Miller can't be getting his pocket picked like that by Connor Bedard. Sorry, he can't. But the Rangers were the better team that period. Second period rolls along, a good breakup from Brodzinski. That was out of reach for Othman to get a breakaway. Then Mrazek feeds it to Gutman, who got his shot denied. VC with a couple of chances in front on a play got denied. Then Fox with a lazy turnover and then a lazy interference penalty. Thankfully, Krasinski would take an interference of his own shortly after to negate it. But again, you can't be taking those type of penalties, Fox. Like, you can't make a mistake and then take a penalty, especially on the power play. That's not... that was on the power play. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking of later on. But regardless, yeah, you can't take a penalty there like that. You just can't. Miller then puck watching as Dickinson got a clear shot. Lafreniere continues to cook, sets up Gaudreau in front of the net, who naturally missed the net because, again, Lafreniere could have had way more points in this game, but his line mates really did not finish a lot of his opportunities. And it feels like we've said that a lot this year, which is very annoying. But the Rangers would make it 2-0 as they would end up scoring on the power play. There after the 4-on-4 as Trocheck in front fires one off the crossbar. Then Kreider comes in and finishes the chance. It was off of his skate. He kind of skated into it and then it went in. And they reviewed it for a kicking motion. It counted. I still here's my thing. I agree. There's way too much gray area with the kicking motion rule. There really is. But at the same time, we saw Mangiapane do a very similar thing. If anything, that was more of a kick, and that counted as a goal. I'm not going to complain that went in the Rangers' way, but I will say, something needs to give already with the stupid kicking motion rule. When are we going to get definitively, this is a kicking motion, this is not a kicking motion? When are they going to just have something that we know is what constitutes as a kicking motion and what doesn't? We need clarification there. It's beyond annoying, and I could get if Blackhawk fans are annoyed by it, although I don't think they are. I think they just want to rebuild, and they're content with losing as many games as possible. But I just don't understand why we can't get black and white with this. It just doesn't make sense. But Fox then again makes another lazy play. Trocheck made a back check, or it might have been Lafreniere on the back check with a good play to kind of save him on that one. Trouba with a good block on a pass and a shot. And then Schneider to Lafreniere tries to go to Panarin. The pass gets blocked. Then Trocheck tries to feed Panarin on a 2-on-1. That hits him in the face. He had to get a couple stitches. He ended up going to the locker room later in the period. But yeah, and then Othman had a couple of chances in front too. Othman was buzzing. I don't understand how the chart did him dirty. He did not look like the chart suggested. He looked way better than what everyone's saying. He looked good tonight. He looked comfortable, and it was so beautiful seeing him come in. I didn't feel like I was watching a Rangers prospect. I said it with my brother who I was at the game with. I'm like, this is history right here. We're watching a Rangers prospect that shoots the puck. Give him more ice time. Give him more ice time. I couldn't believe it. He had like 3 of the first 5 shots from the Rangers. That's unheard of from a Rangers prospect. It was beautiful. And he had 5 shots in the game. He was a lot better than the chart suggests. Like defensively, I definitely noticed things that were deficient in this game. But in the offensive zone, you are out of your mind if you think he was like a negative in the offensive zone. That line in general, I think they had like 5 high danger chances combined. Like I don't understand how Othman didn't end up. I want to see his individual high danger chances. What are we talking about here with him being a negative at points in this game? But individual high danger chances, let's see. He had 2 in the offensive zone. He was a positive. I'm sorry. I can't agree with what they're saying there, but Trouba and Gaudreau blow assignments there as Korchinski had a very good shooting lane, didn't end up scoring, and then it would be 2-1 as Trouba couldn't break up a pass that went over the Blackwell. Eric Gustafsson with a lazy line change, took forever. Miller couldn't get back in time, and of course, naturally, Colin Blackwell would score, and Igor again can't get the shutout, which I'm very annoyed about. That he can't buy a shutout. He can't, and the team just has lapses in front of him, and it's annoying. But yeah, again, just unfortunate. And then that's when Panarin went to the room after the goal. Sorry, just trying to text and do this. But yeah, I ended up going to the room. But Miller then went off for a tripping penalty. The Rangers had a very good penalty kill, though. Like, that was beautiful watching them bring it to the offensive zone, pass it back, bring it into the offensive zone, pass it back, dump it. Love that PK. But that was a okay period from the Rangers in the second yet again. Like, wasn't blown away by it. Again, they were sloppy with the puck at times in the D zone yet again, but especially late in the period. Seems like a theme. But yeah, they were lucky Chicago too was sloppy with the puck because they were because the Rangers had a lot of sustained offensive zone time, yet again, they actually didn't have most of it that period. Chicago says had the majority at 5v5, but yeah, again, I just wanted to see them get more chances too. Like the second line did, Othman did. I want to see more from some of the other guys too. And thankfully, the third period, they definitely came out of the gate with some urgency. Fox goes chasing, leaves Wheeler to have to break up a play in front of the net. Rangers would make it 3-1. That was Trouba fires one from a very weird angle. It went off of somebody on Chicago. I don't know who exactly it went off of, but a good play before that by Panarin to keep the puck into the offensive zone. Lafreniere was buzzing on that shift, and the assist, though, would go to Panarin and Trocheck again. Lafreniere, another one who just deserved an assist, and the Rangers would make it 4-1 shortly after. Beautiful breakup play by Braden Schneider in the neutral zone, who you could argue was the Rangers' best defenseman in this game tonight. There was really not a lot of times I was mad about Schneider's play. If anything, I thought he was a positive tonight, which is something that's good. And yeah, he gets it to Cooley. That leads to a rush chance. He feeds Jimmy Vesey on that. That made it 4-1. Beautiful. And then Wheeler and Tenorti fight after Tenorti just bodies Wheeler after the whistle. Sure. Random fight. Didn't have that on the bingo card, but sure. And then not much happened until really those two came out of the penalty box. It was kind of just a dead hockey game. Lafreniere would take the puck away from Tenorti. Got a chance for a rush. Denied there. Othman with a between-the-legs pass to Brzezinski. That got stopped. Fox with another just bad read here as he pinches in the neutral zone, and a rush comes the other way. But thankfully, Dickinson takes a high sticking penalty. Future Ranger, Jason Dickinson, that is, took a high sticking penalty. And then Fox with another mistake here. Like, I hate to be like this and really like pinpoint so many mistakes, but it was just that noticeable. Adam Fox tonight with some of the mistakes. And again, he'll be better. He'll be better. Like, this was just a very, very off night, though, for Adam Fox. As just brutal passing here as Foligno just takes it, and then he has to take a lazy tripping penalty. Another one where, you know, you want to bury the game. Come on. Come on, man. Trouba with a good play in the neutral zone, though. Schneider with a good poke check on Connor Bedard to stop that. And he had a little bit of a mistake there, but he got back and made the play. Beautiful. That's what you want to see more of from Braden Schneider. Igor then with a nice stop on Bedard, who was in front of the net. Needed a stronger back check, especially from Lindgren. He was the one out of position there. Lafreniere, though, at the end in his last shift, he was buzzing yet again and unfortunately couldn't score. But the Rangers played a respectful period. They got the 2 goals early, and then they just kind of sat back. They allowed some high danger chances, which you don't like to see, but at least they're up 4-1. So that was good at that point. And yeah, I mean, they took care of business. They took care of business against the Chicago team that's not good. But you'd like to see them be a little more careful with the puck in their own end. I think that's something that we've all been asking for just in general over the past few games. But regardless, they capitalized on their opportunities. They got their second line was very good yet again. They got more scoring depth in the game, which is another very big in this game. Again, good. A lot of good from this game. It's just, again, if you want to be disappointed in anyone tonight, I hated Wheeler's game. Really did not like Wheeler's game. I thought Miller and Trouba were meh. I thought they were meh. Fox, though, really not great. Lindgren, really not great. But you got good play from your depth guys. Gustafsson, outside of the brutal change he made, looked good. Schneider was their best defenseman tonight. Coley looked good tonight. I mean, Brzezinski too. Thought Brzezinski had a good game. The first line a little unnoticeable at 5v5, which is a little disappointing though. But that second line yet again was electric. But yeah, before we go to the chat and see what you guys have to say, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already and subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate everyone yet again that donates, that is a member. I do appreciate all of you in the chat. But let's see what you guys have to say about this game. Let's see what you guys have to say about this game. Is it me or was the crowd rather? The crowd wasn't really that into it. I was at the game. The crowd wasn't really that electric tonight. But to be honest, there wasn't really too much to be like that excited about, to be honest, unfortunately. But yeah, the crowd was kind of dead tonight. But yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, but they should have beat the Blackhawks. They took care of business, but yeah. Second line was great. Once again, it's a shame that they are only ones that provide offense consistently. Yep. Great game. Thought Schneider and Gus had good nights. Blake Wheeler, on the other hand, pretty much what I just said. Yeah, pretty much what I just said. LAFFY was incredible tonight. Definitely one of his best games of the season. Just looks really confident. The one thing I want him to improve on is his shot. He gets into a lot of prime scoring opportunities. It just doesn't finish. Hopefully his shot comes along. I've always said that too. Like, if Lafreniere's shot could start to really blossom and he could get more confident when it comes to shooting the puck, he could be even like, that's when he's really going to take the next step. And that's when you could really say he arrived, because he's starting to make the playmaking moves. He's starting to look confident with the puck. When is he going to be confident in letting it rip and shooting the puck? If he could get his shot developed a bit more, that would be, then you might actually see him be the first overall pick that we expect. Like, not maybe entirely, but you might see, like, if you might see him string together a 25 to 30 goal season, which, you take that. You take that. You absolutely take that on top of the playmaking he's providing, where, maybe he's good for 30 assists, 40 assists. You get like a 60, 70 point season from him. It's not what you expect from a guy that was hyped up to be a generational talent. But at this point, 60 to 70 point guy, you still take that type of production from someone on your team. Yeah, LAFFY looked great. Who do we vote for the All-Star game? Laff, Trout, Jamaica, Fox. I would say Trocheck or Lafreniere. Fox hasn't been terrible. The only thing is he's holding to such a high standard. A good game for an average D-man is considered a so-so game for Fox. He's been inconsistent lately, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine, but like the past few games, yeah, like they were down games for Fox, but it's not like it was a dumpster fire tonight. I'll be straight up. He was a tire fire tonight. Like, he was really, really bad tonight. And, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. And Again, I'm not expecting him to be bad every night. This is not me saying that he's a bum and that he sucks. I want to make it clear yet again because people still will find a way to get annoyed with me saying this. But he's not immune to criticism. No one on this team is, and he simply didn't have a good game. And it's good that they won the game, but he didn't have a good game. And good thing he had a bad game and a very off night when they won, because that means, he'll be back next game, and that gives the Rangers a chance to string more wins together. So that's a positive in a way. It's a negative, but a positive. Yeah, I don't know. The team's inability to play a full 60 is annoying. No update on Panarin. I mean, he was fine after the game. He looks like he's okay. I liked Othman's game tonight. I liked how he was constantly around the net and was constantly engaged in the play. He was shooting a lot, which you like to see. And I see Laviolette also give him a couple shifts with Meek and Kreider. Yeah, that's something that I did like to see, especially because I was very aggravated on Twitter. If you guys didn't see, I'm sure you guys did, that he was in the bottom six in the morning skate. And I was like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this? And, when Wheeler took the fight, they started to double shift him. Even at points when Wheeler was out there, out of the penalty box, they double shifted him at points, and that I liked. And you want to see more of that, rewarding guys for their good play, and something Laviolette does. Yeah, Lafreniere needs to keep the stash. Othman got the Broadway hat. Good. I saw that too. That was a good goal. There was no forward kicking motion on the replay. Christ Kreider turned to skate. I'm always fair on these. If it was the other way around, I would say it's a goal. Yeah, I agree. Especially because, again, the Mangiapane one was way more of a kick than that. So, but again, like, the whole reason that it even is a debate is because of the fact that we just have so much gray area. I agree with you guys that it was the right call, but I just hate that we have so much gray area in this league. So, agreed on Dickinson. I know you're high on Foligno, but I'd much rather have Dickinson. I'm very on board with either. Like, I'm not going to be mad with either. I think both would be such good ads in the bottom six, and even watching them play tonight in person, it's just like those two type of players would be they would be so good for this Rangers team. Like, they would be so good for this team. I actually want to see their how they looked on the charts tonight and see if my eyes match what I saw. Like, I thought they were both very, very effective tonight, at least like in the defensive zone, is what I mean. Like, obviously, they're not going to wow you with their offense, but yeah, both of them were net positive defensively, negative offensively, but very, very positive defensively for Nick Foligno, especially. My eyes didn't deceive me with that. Nick Foligno has been like, I'd be on board with either. I would be on board with either personally. I think both are very good hockey players and would be such good ads for this bottom six. Yeah, that's one thing that, it's true. They had lapses, but they didn't get pinned in their own end a lot. That I could agree with. There was only like a couple times I remember them getting pinned, but yeah, a lot of it again had to do with just the breakouts yet again. And that's the only thing that worries me, is that we've been seeing them constantly struggle with breakouts throughout the season. And, you know, like that's a little bit of a concern, and it's a bad habit of theirs, especially True, but like, he didn't have a bad game, and I feel like I shouldn't say he didn't have a bad, like, he was okay, but I feel like he could be so much better. Imagine how he would be, like how many more good games he'd have if he just simply was capable of breaking the puck out better. A lot of it was just careless mistakes in their own end. Didn't get to watch the game. How did Othman look? Othman looked great. Othman looked great. He looked very comfortable. He was engaged in the play, and he was not afraid to shoot the puck. Love this team's ability to respond after losses. I agree. But the other part in me is like, I'd also like to see them be able to go on a couple of winning streaks. I'm not saying they need to win out and go undefeated, but I'd like to see them string wins together for consecutive games. And I'm not saying they haven't this year. I'm just saying I want to see like the ability still to, even when they play good teams, string along a winning streak here, or at least play competitive in a loss here to show me something, because come playoff time, you can't go 7 games each series. That's what holds them back all the time. And you play Montreal next, you better win that one. You better win that one. We need Yager to come in and teach the Rangers how to use the boards to get past defenders and break in. Yeah, they need to be better with dumping the puck in and forechecking, but I thought it was better their forecheck tonight than it's been in previous games. Yeah, I can't believe we're only 4 games away from the 41 game mark. I finished up making all the thumbnails the uh for the post games tonight, just so I had it ahead. And yeah, it's crazy how fast the season's going. Like before we know it, it's gonna be playoff time, all right? Like we're only like 8 weeks away from the deadline, right? I think we're only like 8 weeks away, or no, on Tuesday we'll be 8 weeks away, because I think it's March 9th. Or 2 weeks, not 2 weeks. 2 months. I meant 2 months away. So yeah, we're getting like really close, and the trade deadline, we could, like, before we know it, we're gonna see acquisitions for this team. Yeah, I agree that some guys need to simplify the game, Logan. Just shoot the puck more and be a little selfless and try not to get the highlight reel goal. Yeah, that would be very nice, especially considering their schedule lightens up outside of Vancouver. If they could, get hot here and go on a big run, especially get hot, like instill some confidence on in this team more, and show Drury, like, this is why winning games in this stretch is so important, because show Drury that this team could be legit, and this could be a legit cup threat, and go on a deep run, go make the ads, Drury, to this group, and let's go make a run. Vancouver will be a tough one, but outside of that, Washington back to back, like, you should beat them twice, but I naturally want to say you're going to split there. They got to beat Montreal. They got to beat St. Louis. Vegas will be tough. Seattle, I feel like, just always is a wild card of a game. Like Seattle, you never know what you're getting. LA, definitely going to be tough, but you play Anaheim after that. San Jose, you got to beat them. The West Coast game's coming up, I'm dreading. And then Vegas again in Ottawa. January is definitely not, it's not a cakewalk, but it's not, the worst schedule. So, yeah, and getting that's important, because you want to get that comfortable lead, especially because February they play a lot more. They play more competitive teams, and then March is kind of like a gauntlet for this team. They play Toronto, Florida, New Jersey, Carolina, Tampa, Pittsburgh, who might be fighting for a wild card, the Islanders, who have been surprising this year in terms of like how good they actually are, Winnipeg, Boston, Florida, Philly, who's in the playoff mix, Colorado, and then as well Arizona, who's been respectful in their own right in terms of a competitive team. March is where it's really going to be a gauntlet, and it's a good thing that they'll be making ads by then, and that's going to be the huge statement month, I think, in my opinion, is how do they overcome the adversity in March. If they come out of March playing very good hockey, this team shows me a lot. That shows me everything that I need to know. March is going to be a huge statement. Like I didn't even notice the schedule until I just looked at it now. That's going to be a huge test for this team. Yeah, I don't think that Goudreau's getting dumped. I could see Bonino being kicked to the side a bit though, as the deadline rolls along. But I don't know about Wheeler either, to be honest. I'm not sure. If the Canucks want to slide Kuzmenko our way, I would appreciate it. Yeah, I would like Kuzmenko on this team. Kuzmenko would be a very solid ad for this team. I work late, so the West Coast games benefit me. That's good. That's good that somebody benefits from them. And it's not like I stay up late. It's just like the thing that annoys me about the West Coast games is nobody wants to stay up for the post games. So like the chat's always kind of quiet, and I like the lively chats, and it's just very quiet. I'll be in Carolina and likely Pittsburgh for the games. I might be going to Carolina for the road game. I'm not sure yet, but since C Jets is down there in Carolina, I might make the trip down there, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I gotta see things. I don't really have many thoughts about Anisimov signing with Hartford. Like, I find it funny and I find it cool, but he's on a PTO. I don't really know, and it's for Riley Nash being hurt. Unless he like really impresses, I don't think he's gonna stick. Unfortunately, even though I'd find it funny and I'd love for him to stick around. But yeah, good for Anisimov. He scored a goal tonight too. Good for him. It was a kind of a cheeky goal, but no, good for Anisimov. Good for Anisimov. Somehow 1 month younger uh than Nick Bonino, which is kind of funny to me. I didn't even realize he was with the Flyers system last year. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like Bonino, yeah, he blocks shots every now and then, but you could get plenty of bottom six guys, in my opinion, that will block shots too, and that will also add more to the lineup than just that. Like, I don't know. I feel like this team could do much better than Nick Bonino, but that's just me. That's just me. Curious what the block shot leaders look like right now. Let's say block shots per 60. Where is Truba's 15th in that? I want to see where. Yeah, Bonino's not even towards the top of the list. Let's see where he ranks on the Rangers in block shots per 60. He's second. I must have skipped by him because he's not that far off from Truba. 8.59 for him. There's a huge gap between Bonino and Schneider. 4.97. It's a pretty sizable gap. Pretty sizable gap. Although it doesn't help that I gotta filter this too, because there's like 1 games played. Let me filter to like 25. I think that's a fair sample size for this point of the season. 25 games. Let's see. Truba's 6th and Bonino 7th. So not too bad. Not too bad. But I don't know. Like I just look at some of the other names too, and Ilya Labushkin, that could be someone the Rangers at the deadline. He blocks a lot of shots too, so keep an eye out there. I know I'm not sure if they're gonna get him, but could be a target. Could be a target, especially if they're gonna get Vetrano. Maybe they'll do a little package type deal. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Dang. Nick Bonino's like the only forward though. You know what? I will say maybe I do owe a little bit of an apology there. He's the only forward outside of Noah Chari in the top 50. This is. Am I going crazy? Let me double check this to make sure I'm not going not going crazy. I don't know. Regardless, so that's maybe I owe Benino an apology there. Maybe I do, but I digress. But yeah, Goudreau's not good. Yeah, can 100% get someone better than Benino, but I think they should still trade Goudreau for cap space unless Heedle is done for the year. I think Heedle is going to be done for the year. I don't think Heedle is coming back. And quite honestly, I think the Rangers are like, don't get me wrong. I love Phil Heedle. I want him in the lineup. He makes the team better. And there's no disputing that. But my thing is, I think you might as well keep him on LTIR until the playoffs if he's ready to go. Because what happened? Because if you do this, say they activate Heedle before the deadline and then they don't have cap space to make moves at the deadline, you're gonna hurt yourself here because and put the team at risk because then you're relying on Philip Heedle, who has sustained 4 concussions. And again, I love Heedle, but it's just the facts. And it's unfortunate that we have to talk about this, but it's the facts that a little hit or a little collision, not even a hit, with Sebastian Aho caused Philip Heedle to have this type of concussion where he has to go back home and, like seriously think about retiring even. You're going to bring him back and then not make moves at the deadline. Who's to say he's not going to sustain another concussion or get another concussion within the next 20 plus games or so, or the final 20 plus games or playoff time? You want to get insurance come playoff time. And I think the team's just in a better off spot, leaving him on LTIR, utilizing the cap space, and then bringing him back. Then you add so much more insurance to the team as well, where God forbid Phil Heedle does get another concussion in the playoffs. It's like, okay, at least we went out and got a center and we'll just slot a guy into the lineup. Like at least you could get Jesper Foss. All right, my mistake. I don't know why I thought it was Aho, maybe because of the Fox thing. But regardless, just go out and I just think it makes more sense to go out and use that cap space. I would love a Lindholm Hannafin package. I don't think it's happening. I think Lindholm's realistic. I don't think Hannafin's happening. Yeah, they're gonna get a defenseman at the deadline. I don't know the significance of that defenseman, but they're gonna get a defenseman because of the fact that you can't have Zach Jones as your 7th defenseman. You just can't. You just can't. Sorry. Um, Lindholm, Mangiapane. I would like Mangiapane, but I'm not sure if Mangiapane is even going to happen. To be honest, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that's more of a pipe dream at this point, especially because he's making 5.8, and I guess Calgary can retain for an extra year, but I don't know if they're going to be willing to because honestly, they might, with the way that they're fighting for a wild card spot, they might. I'm not saying they're going to try to push for this year, but they might try to like regroup in the offseason and then, run it back next year with a little bit of different pieces. They'll obviously lose Lindholm because you gotta maximize on that type of asset when he would be the number one trade target come the deadline. You gotta maximize it and cash in there if you're Calgary. But yeah, like I don't know if Mangiapane is going to happen. I think they might hold on to him and try to run it with him next offseason and then cash in on him next season if they're not in a spot. Hannafin's a right shot guy either way. So that wouldn't affect Lindgren and Gustafson in terms of the blue line. Actually, no, Hannafin is left shot. Why did I think he was right shot all this time? I have it right now. Why did I think he was right shot? I have no idea why I thought he was a right shot defenseman this entire time. I feel really dumb for that now, too. But I mean, yeah, then I agree, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen with Hannafin. I really don't know if it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna get a smaller target, especially because if you're getting Lindholm and Hannafin in a package, that's gonna be a steep price to pay if you're Chris Drury and company. That's gonna be a very big price to pay. You're not looking at a conditional first at that point. You're giving up definitely a guaranteed first at that point. I don't even know what other assets you'd really like give up at that point. Like you'd probably have to give up a sizable prospect, not like anything too crazy, like Othman, Cooley, or Edstrom. Like maybe Edstrom, but I don't know. They'd have to give up like that would have to be a very big haul for Calgary. That would be a big haul. Yeah, I agree. Lindgren's not a top pair guy. I've been saying it for a while now. Both UFAs, which helps. Yeah, but I don't know. That's going to be a steep price because of the fact that they're going to get if they're going to want both. That's going to be a very steep price. Let's hope the US brings home the gold tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully. I'll be watching that. We will be there. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't want to see Lindgren getting a Girardi type contract either. I really don't want to see it. Lindgren and Gus on the third pair would be wild. I don't think that would be the case if they got Hannafin. I think that it's tough because Gustafson's the quarterback of that second unit. It would either be Gustafson or Schneider coming out. Like, but at least you're Jack Harlow. You got options. Like you could go with Hannafin, Fox, but I don't know if they're gonna break up that pair. That's the only issue. But ideally, you'd want Hannafin and Fox together. Miller and Trouba, or you could even maybe do Miller, Fox, and then Hannafin, Trouba. Those are your top four, though. And then it would be Lindgren and Gustafson or Schneider there. You should go live and do a watch along for the gold medal game. Maybe. Maybe. Do you guys want me to do that? Anyone else want me to do that? Mr. Quick Dad here. Stop dissing on my dad and go to bed. I'm not going to bed here. Get out of here. Yeah, I'm not going to bed. And I apologize to Quick. All right, I apologize. I gave my apologies. We went on a whole tangent about that. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? But maybe I'll go live tomorrow for that game. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about that one. But I think I'm gonna wrap things up here, to be honest. So you know what, you won. I might be going to bed bed right now. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up here. I really do appreciate everyone that tuned in, especially for a very late post game show. No, don't go live. Don't go live. Be 5:30 a.m. if you go live. I think Edstrom should be in the lineup right now. Give him another look. Yeah, but Edstrom got hurt apparently. Edstrom got hurt, so he'll be out week to week, unfortunately. Yeah, didn't keep you up too late. Sorry I kept you up late in general. I do apologize. When I go to games, it's hard to do the post games afterwards because of the fact that I just simply can't go live. So yeah, I really do appreciate though every single one of you that did tune in. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Let's see if we can get to 50 likes on the post game show here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Shout out to our members yet again. I do appreciate all of you. And yeah, don't forget to turn on your notifications too. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers.